Namaste and welcome to Flow and Restore Yoga. Physically today, we'll be focusing on side bends and flexions and some spinal twists. And for this practice of first half yang or vinyasa flow and the second half yin and restorative, you'll want to have quite a few props, such as couple of blocks if you have them, a strap, a bolster, and a blanket. Let's begin in hero's pose if that position works for you. As with any of the physical practice, make sure that you are choosing the variations of postures or opting out of ones that you might need so that you are tailoring your physical practice to meet your physical body from moment to moment. So hero's pose, you might like to sit on a block between your ankles, and if it's not working for you at all, you can sit in a way that you can arrive feeling grounded and alert and relaxed. So we took a pause in walking through the 8 limbs of yoga last week as we were celebrating summer solstice and the full moon. So I thought we'd highlight the 7th limb of the 8 limbs of yoga this week, which is dhyana, often or translated from Sanskrit to English as meditation. Here's a little about it from the Shaolin Temple. Dhyana calls for concentration and meditation on a point of focus with the goal of knowing the truth about it. This deeper concentration of the mind is the instrument of self-knowledge, where one can separate illusion from reality and eventually reach samadhi, which is the 8th limb of yoga. According to the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which were compiled by the sage Patanjali before 400 AD, the purpose of meditation is to stop the unsteadiness of normal mental activity, like sensory knowledge, memory, and imagination. Of these, memory is the hardest to silence since it constantly feeds us glimpses from the past, along with a ceaseless stream of thoughts and feelings. My yoga psychology teacher trainer said much of meditation is about simply observing your tendencies, coming into a relationship with your mind that is more intimate, non-judgmental, understanding, loving, and compassionate. I often hear when in a meditation practice, let's master the mind. And for me, that has a bit of a flavor of authoritativeness and maybe even a little bit of aggression. I prefer the mindfulness approach of befriending the mind and bringing that same attitude of friendship between our inner and outer worlds, our inner and outer being, into our practice, which makes it feel a lot friendlier and more welcoming and doable, right? Rather than trying to force yourself to pay attention to the present moment when your attention wanders. How about looking at it as letting go of whatever is pulling you in so many different directions? The past, the external stimuli, the future planning and imagining, and instead resting back into yourself, coming home to yourself. What if we perceive meditation as that? And as we practice physical yoga, the asanas, how might you invite those glimpses of meditation, that state of coming back to yourself, coming home to yourself and in your body? And then in the end, we'll, as usual, sit for 5 minutes sitting in meditation. Let's begin by checking in. Begin to notice what you're feeling in your physical body. All forms of sensations. Bringing that non-judgmental attitude to your observing. Feel the sensations of the breath as it flows naturally in and out. And through the qualities of your breathing right now, what do you notice about your energy? Notice the state of your heart, mind, observing how you're feeling mentally and emotionally. And in the practice of befriending that, just holding space for whatever it is, compassionate listening. Let's start to deepen the breath, inhaling a little slower through the nose, opening the mouth to let it go. Breath by breath, a little deeper, while bringing the attitude of friendliness and welcoming, even in how you're breathing. So though you might deepen the breath, bringing a gentleness, kindness to the breath quality. I invite you to reflect on a few things that you find gratitude in, anything you appreciate in this moment, possibly thinking of what had to come together for you to be able to sit here now, beginning your practice of yoga. Bringing that attitude of gratitude into the practice as well. Then identify to yourself what you are choosing to rest your attention on as your focal point for this practice, the intention that you are cultivating. Remember that our practice is not only to serve our well-being, but the collective well-being, the life around us. With that in mind, I invite you to choose someone to dedicate today's practice to. Together, let's join our voices to create resonance by chanting Om 3 times. Let in a deep breath. Feeling your breathing and continuing to deepen it. Let's start a breathing technique that is known to help clear the clouds of the mind, help us to be present in our bodies, and it will help to warm up the lungs, cleanse the lungs. It's called bellows breath, or in Sanskrit, Bhastrika Pranayama. So if you can, close the lips and only breathe through the nose. Let's start by placing the hands on your lowest side ribs. As you breathe in, really fully expand your whole torso so that you're using your diaphragm, filling up your belly and all parts of the lungs. And then breathe out just as strongly through the nose. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Breathing in, breathing out. Now keep that and find a brisk pace that you can sustain for 1 minute, possibly straight. And I'm gonna set the timer. Now you can keep the hands here, or there's a physical action or kriya that you can do alongside of bellows breath, where you bend the elbows apart, make fists with your hands. And as you breathe in, straighten the arms, spread the fingers. As you breathe out, bend the elbows and refist the hands, like this. This helps to warm up the shoulders, definitely. So choose how you will have your arms, and let's prepare to practice 1 minute of bellows breath. Ready? Closing the eyes. Begin. We're halfway through. And relax. Breathing naturally, observe how you feel. Especially notice how you feel mentally. As you continue to breathe with the lips closed, let's start a breathing technique that helps us to move our bodies in mindful ways, balancing the energy we exert with ease and calming the nervous system while focusing the mind. It's called Ujjayi Pranayama, victorious breath, and it's done by softly narrowing the back of your throat to create a smooth and gentle whispering sound as you breathe in very slowly and breathe out just as slowly, creating a gently audible rhythm that will soon move our bodies to. So as you listen to that slow rhythm, please start to make your way down onto all fours, tabletop pose, spreading the fingers flat at the top of the mat, where your shoulders stack right above your wrists. Spread the thumbs wide towards each other, stretch the index fingers to point forward or slightly turn out. Now from here, with your knees right under the hips, try to keep your 2 hips leveled, firm in the belly, firm the outer hips in. And on the next inhale, flex the right foot and stretch the right leg behind you, hips leveled. Maybe raise the left arm forward as well. And as you exhale like cat pose, round the back, bending the right knee towards your nose or the left elbow, right knee to touch. Inhale, extend through the front body, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, contract the front body. 3 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. And exhale, contract. Lower the left hand, spread the fingers flat, and tuck the right toes behind you with the right leg straight. Spin the right heel flat on the floor so the outer edge of the foot is rooting into the earth. Press the ground away with the left wrist right under the left shoulder and raise your right arm to the sky, finding your balance in a kneeling version of side plank. If you're feeling very wobbly, you could slide the left shin directly behind you so that it's perpendicular to the length of your mat. If you're feeling pretty stable, you could play with your balance some more by flexing the right foot off the floor, maybe extending the right arm overhead, sort of like a kneeling version of half moon pose. Whatever you're practicing here, tune into the last 3 deep breaths. Lengthening the sides of your neck, keep drawing both shoulder blades down the back. Now on an exhalation, come back to tabletop, hands and knees on the floor. Spread the fingers flat. Then inhale, reach the left leg behind you. Keep the hips leveled. Maybe extend the right arm forward, rolling the shoulders back. Exhale, contract the belly as you round. Left knee to nose or right elbow, left knee to touch. Inhale, extend through the front body. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend, pressing the ground away with the left hand. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. And exhale, contract. Lower the right hand, straighten the left leg, and tuck the toes behind you. Spin the left heel flat onto the earth so the outer edge of the left foot is rooting down. With your right wrist directly under the right shoulder, press the ground away with the right hand and raise the left arm to the sky, finding your balance in a kneeling version of side plank. If you want to support your balance more, you could slide the right shin directly behind you, perpendicular to the length of your mat. If you want to challenge your balance more, you could flex the left foot off the floor, like half moon pose. Maybe also add sweeping the left arm overhead while drawing both shoulder blades down the back. Let's tune into 3 more deep breaths. Slowly set the hands and knees on the floor, and this time lean back on your shins or knees. And let's give the outer wrist a stretch by making fists out of your hands, giving yourself a fist bump, keeping that shape, and placing the backs of your fists about 1 foot in front of your knees onto the ground, bending the elbows apart off the ground. Slowly glide your weight forward until you can find the amount of stretch in the outer wrists and forearms. That's a balance of effort and ease. And here you might softly shake your head, just making sure the neck is relaxed, the shoulders are relaxing back, the face is relaxed, the breath is relaxed. Bringing that friendly attitude in the body, in the breath, in the mind. Leaning back onto your shins, shake out your hands, and let's make our way to stand at the front of your mat, mountain pose. Now, if you might want to have your hands to press into blocks in front of you instead of the ground, you could place your blocks on their tallest height in front of your feet like this. Let's set the feet hips width apart, parallel to each other, and join your hands in prayer at heart center in Padasana. Reconnecting with the energy of your intention, what you're choosing to focus on in today's practice. Let's offer gratitude to the sun, source of energy for all of life on this planet. Sun salutation A, moving to your breath. As you breathe in, sweep your arms forward and roll your shoulders back and down. Feel free to bend the knees if that helps. To exhale, fold with a flat back. Plant your fingertips on blocks, shins or the floor, and inhale, lengthen your spine forward. Carefully step to plank pose, knees down or legs straight, and either lower knees, chest, chin, or glide forward and graze your elbows by your ribs through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into Cobra or upward facing dog if you're really warm in the shoulders already. Exhale into downward facing dog. Pausing there, steady your gaze or drishti on one spot as you re-steady 2 breaths. When you've emptied the second breath, walk or float to the front of your mat, forward fold. Press with your hands. Inhale, half forward fold, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Press with your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands together in Padasana. Twice more, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen to Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank, or maybe this time float into Chaturanga if you practice jumping. Lower in your own way through your vinyasa, breathing into Cobra or Upward Dog. Exhale to Downward Dog and pause again for 2 breaths. Cultivating stillness and friendly awareness. When you've emptied the second breath, walk or float to the front. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Rooting down, inhale, rise. Exhale, hands in prayer. Once more, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step or float back. Insert your vinyasa here. This time we'll end it in downward facing dog. When you arrive there, inhale, raise your right leg behind you, keeping the hips leveled. Exhale, step the foot lightly beside your right thumb. Stay high in the ball of your left foot. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge. Exhale, open to your left side, warrior 2. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Rotate the right palm face up, side bend towards the back of your room. Exhale, shift forward to half moon pose. Reach for the block or the floor, upper right corner of your right pinky toe. Flex the left foot off the ground and maybe raise the left arm up. Let's pause here for 5 breaths. Find a focal point for your eyes to land on and recenter on the feeling of your breath. Exiting by looking down at your right toes and stepping the left foot to touch the right, forward fold, top of the mat. Inhale to half forward fold, lengthen your chest, forward. Exhale, fold. As I mentioned, twists are part of this practice, so bend your knees for chair twists, join the hands together, and breathe in as you lengthen the spine. Keep your hips lower than your heart, and exhale, begin twisting to the right without twisting the pelvis. A few breaths here. Draw the left hip towards the back of your mat. Spin your right ribs towards the sky. And let the shoulders relax down the back. Parita Utkatasana. 2 more breaths. Inhale back to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Insert your version of vinyasa here. When you arrive in downward facing dog, inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, softly step the foot beside your left thumb. Stay high on the ball of your right foot. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge. Turn to your right and exhale to warrior 2. Flip the left palm to face up. Inhale to peaceful warrior. Side bending towards the back of your room. Exhale, shift forward for half moon. Walk the left hand on a block or the floor, upper left corner of your left pinky toe, and flex the right foot off the floor. Steady your gaze. Relax into the waves of your breathing. Ardha Chandrasana. Look down at your left toes and step the right foot to touch the left. Press with your hands and inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees together, inhale, chair, join the hands at your hearts. And to your left, exhale, begin to twist. Breath by breath. Parita Utkatasana. One more deep breath. Sit a little lower, inhale to chair pose. This time, exhale, rise up to mountain pose. Let's turn to face the wide width of your mat, preparing for a cooling, wide-legged forward fold as we transition to the yin energy of our practice. So you might choose to clasp your hands behind your back to open the front of your shoulders here. You might choose to have 2 blocks in front of you to place your hands on, or you might choose to hold opposite elbows when you fold. You decide what's your body asking for here. As you breathe in, draw the shoulders back, parallel the feet in this wide stance. And as you breathe out, hinge forward from the hips and try to shift your weight far enough forward so that your hips are not behind your ankles, but they're in line with your ankles. You can bend your knees any amount so that you're not straining in the back of your body, not rounding the back, not rounding the shoulders. In fact, you can create a lot of space in the neck, lifting the shoulders while dropping the head. Few deep breaths here in Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Place your hands on your hips and bending your knees. Slowly lead with your chest. Inhale to slowly rise. Please come on down to sit. And we'll enter a seated spinal twist, great sage pose. So as you have your legs in front of you, notice if it's helpful to sit up on a prop, such as a folded blanket, so that your spine can be upright more easily if it tends to round. So bend your right knee and set your right foot on the floor in front of your right hip, or cross the foot outside of the left knee only if you're able to equally ground the sitting bones there, or add bending the left knee too. As you continue to ground both sitting bones, sit tall, relax the shoulders, open the chest, place the right hand behind your pelvis on the floor, raise your left arm, and let in a deep breath as you press into the ground and lengthen up through the crown. Keep the pelvis still and exhale, twist to your right side. Lower your left hand to hold your right leg, or let the elbow hook outside of the thigh as more leverage. Breathing in, press into the ground, lengthen through the back of your skull. Breathing out, let the rib cage rotate little by little for about 7 more deep breaths. On your next exhale, unwind your spine. And let's straighten that left leg forward if it's bent. Bring the sole of your right foot or the heel of the foot towards your groin. See if you can get a wider than right angle between your thighs, an obtuse angle. And take the strap if you might need it, place it around the ball of your left foot. As you flex the left foot, kick into the strap at the same time, and only hold the strap in your right hand with enough slack to be able to relax the shoulders down. Place the left hand on the floor on the outside of your left thigh, and press the sitting bones down as you breathe in, lengthen through the spine again. Here, twist to the left side of your left leg. And as you breathe out, begin to hinge from the hips, folding in that direction. So this is Parita Janu Shirshasana. Twisting hand to big toe pose, breath by breath. Now, if you can hold the outer left foot with your right hand without rounding the back, you can release the strap. Try to root the right sitting bone into the earth or what you're sitting on. Keeping your throat open, shoulders relaxed. Press down to your hips. As you breathe in, lead with your chest to rise up. All right, let's put the strap aside for now and slide the right leg forward, bend the left knee for a twist. See if you can set up similarly as you did on your first side. Step the left foot in front of the left hip or cross the foot outside of the opposite knee, in which you might also bend that bottom knee. Grounding both sitting bones, lengthen the spine and relax your shoulders. Place the left hand on the floor behind your pelvis and raise your right arm, breathing in, root into the ground and rise. As you breathe out, begin twisting to the left. Lower your right hand to hold your left leg, or add the leverage of hooking the elbow outside of the thigh. Breathing in, root down to rise. Breathing out, stabilize the legs and pelvis, continue to twist. On the exhale, unwind your spine, straighten the right leg, and open up the inner thighs so the left heel is at your groin or close to it. You might use a strap around the ball of your right foot here as we prepare for twisting head to knee pose. Flexing the right foot, kick the foot into the strap and hold the strap in your left hand. Right hand outside of the right thigh, sit up tall as you breathe in. Exhale, twist to your right and start to fold towards the outer side of your right leg while keeping the left sitting bone grounded. Taking this breath by breath in Parita Janu Shirshasana. Rooting down through your pelvis. On the next in-breath, slowly rise up. From here, grab your block and bolster. Hello, Maggie. And let's turn to face the wide width of your mat. You may want to have a blanket just within arm's reach, just in case you may need more props. Or you can come into a supported lateral extension, also flexion of the spine or side bend. So let's start by turning out the right leg. I'm mirroring you here. Bending the left knee. Again, splaying open the inner thighs as comfortably as you can wide. And from here, take your bolster, place it on the outer side of your left leg. If it can, stand up on its edge like this so it could be at its highest height while still being long. You can go ahead and do that. Now, flexing the left foot just slightly so that your left knee stays pointing upwards, it doesn't rotate forward. Root your two sitting bones, and again, if you tend to round your back, go ahead and elevate your sitting bones on your folded blanket. Raise your left arm, relax the shoulders, lengthen the spine as you root down through the pelvis. Let in a deep breath, and keep lengthening the spine from the hips as you begin to side bend to your right. Inhale, root the two sitting bones down, lengthen the center of the spine, and then continue to side bend. Now, one thing you could do if you find it helpful as sort of an arm spacer is to sandwich the wide width of a block between the palms like this. You just have something to land your upper arm on, or you could land that left arm on your head if you prefer. Up to you, whatever is most comfortable. Get creative with your props. If you need more than the pillow to lean your torso on, if it feels too low, go ahead and add your blocks to what you're leaning on, or your blanket or other pillows. Make sure that your body can sort of collapse into the pose. And I'm watching the clock here for 2 minutes before we switch sides. Notice where your attention has gone. If it's gone astray from the breath or the present moment, bring the attitude of friendliness to coming back home to yourself. Give just about 2 more deep breaths in this posture. Then take your time when you're ready to slowly press your hands into the ground or block and gently rise up. Come into center and just pause there for a few breaths. Let your body unwind from that deep side bend. Notice what you're feeling in your body. Then I'll invite you to turn out the left leg straight. Splay open the thighs as you bend the right knee and transfer your prop to the outer side of your left thigh. Root down your sitting bones. Raise your right arm. Lengthen the spine as you breathe in. Relax the shoulders. And then keep lifting the spine from the hips as you side bend to your left, leaning onto your prop or props. Maybe the side you need a configuration that's different than the first side. Maybe you sandwich the wide width of a block between the palms and just let the arms rest there. See if you can root down the right sitting bone. And on this side, we're also here for 2 minutes. Full breaths. Another deep breath here. Take your time slowly lifting your body upright. Find a comfortable way to sit upright and pause. Observe the body, observe the breath. Let's take a moment to loosen up throughout the spine with some circular movements, starting with the neck. So make sure you're sitting in a way that feels supportive, where the spine can be tall and you can feel relaxed. And as you breathe in, start to tilt your chin up, opening your throat. Lower the left ear towards the left shoulder. Continue to breathe slowly as you glide the chin across your chest. Opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. Tilt your gaze up. Go as slowly as your body needs to feel comfortable enough, with a couple of rotations in one direction. And on your own, a couple of rotations in the opposite direction. Notice the sensations throughout your neck. Notice without judging them. Coming back to center when you're done, let's bring some shoulder rotations. As you breathe in, float the shoulders forward and up. Exhale them back and down. Couple in one direction and a couple in the opposite direction. And when you finish that, let's bring the rotation into the rib cage, circling the spine to one side and forward to the other side and back. Couple in one direction, couple in the opposite. And when you're done with that, let's stretch the legs in front of you. You may like to sit up on your pillow, and let's rotate at the hip sockets, bending the knees. You can have the hands behind you on the ground. Step the feet apart a little wider than hips distance, and windshield wiper the shins. Breathing into one direction, breathing out opposite direction. And when you've done equal number in each direction, come back to center, slide the legs straight. The knees can be gently bent. And let's circle the feet a couple times in one direction, a couple times in the opposite. All right, see if anything else wants to circle out, like your wrists or your tongue or your eyes. What might be feeling stagnant that you can just bring some energy flow or promote energy flow through movements and bringing your awareness there. Bringing your breath there. In fact, after a few more movements of your own, I'll invite you to sit in a way that you can breathe well for another pranayama, a cooling pranayama, on this pretty warm, sunny day in LA. Sunny summer day. So the pranayama I invite you to is called Sitali or Shitkari. So Sitali pranayama is where you create a taco shape out of your tongue like this. You fold the left and right sides up. And if your tongue does not do that, some tongues don't do that, you can instead just close your teeth together and have the lips open. So whichever shape you'll have your mouth, I'll invite you to inhale through the lips, a cooling breath into your system. Just a slow, sustained inhalation. Then we'll close the lips, let the tongue touch the roof of the mouth as you hold the breath in for a short, comfortable period, whatever that is for you. And with the mouth still closed, you'll exhale through the nose. Any heat out. So we breathe in the cool air, and we hold tongue to the tip of the mouth as lips are closed. Then we'll exhale out through the nose. Now you can sustain the exhale slightly longer than the inhale to promote more cooling and relaxing as well. Let's try a few cycles together, like 3, and then a few cycles on your own before we let go of controlling the breath. So you might close the eyes, you might place your hands in a mudra, grounding mudra, thumb and index finger touching, palm face down, energizing mudra while tuning inward, palms face up. And from here, make your taco shaped lips for sitari, or close the teeth, open the lips for kari. Inhale through the lips. Close the mouth, hold the breath comfortably with the tongue to the roof of the mouth. And when you're ready, exhale slower through the nose. Again, inhale through the lips. Close the mouth, hold. Exhale through nose. Longer exhale. One more together, inhale lips. Close the mouth, hold. Exhale longer through nose. Try a few more on your own. And when you feel that you're done, let go of controlling your breath and notice how you feel. When you're ready, take your time to place your body in a lying down position that's most comfortable for you to rest in stillness for a few minutes of corpse pose, Shavasana, closing the eyes, breathing naturally, and tuning inward. Bring your awareness back to your body and notice how it's feeling now. As you keep your eyes closed, tune into how your body wants to begin moving and start to wake it up with gentle stretches. Taking your time to turn over to your right side and rest your head. As you're resting there, notice the quality of your breathing now. Sense your energy. Start to make your way up to sit, preparing to sit for 5 minutes in meditation. You might place your hands again in a mudra of your choice, sitting tall and relaxed, closing the eyes if you're comfortable to do so. Return to your object of focus, which you identified at the beginning of this practice. Your intention, maybe you can summarize it in one word that you might repeat to yourself mentally as you breathe. Or simplify your focus onto the feeling of the in and out breath. Practicing dharana to welcome the state of dhyana. Remember to bring a relaxed and friendly quality to bringing your attention back when it's wandered. Notice how your heart, mind feels now. Invite you to allow a moment to acknowledge anyone who has contributed to your well-being today, or anything that has contributed to your well-being today. A moment of gratitude as we close our practice. Remember your intention and remember to whom you dedicated this practice. Together, let's join our voices to send out and integrate within the resonance we've created together by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale deeply. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.